The cost of PC parts has just exploded in 2026, especially for storage and for memory. The prices are crazy. So I had to build an office PC for my wife, and I set out to see if I could build something good for a low price using AMD's AM4 platform, adding some used parts and a cheap case from InWin. Did I succeed, or does cutting costs this hard just bite you in the end? Well, we're going to find out right now, right here on Tech Talk. In my last video, we talked about why AMD's AM4 platform is still the best platform for building a budget PC in 2026. And today's the day we get to put everything into practice. We're actually going to build our new computer. Now, just as a reminder, this is meant to be a basic budget office machine for my wife. So the whole point of this exercise was to build just what I needed, get nothing that I didn't need, and pay as little as I could while using a mix of new parts and used parts from a machine I already have. So with that said, let's take a look at exactly what parts we're going to be using for this. We've got a Ryzen 5 3400G CPU with integrated graphics. We've got a Thermalright AXP90 X47 low profile cooler that will go nicely on that CPU. We're using an ASRock A520M ITX AC motherboard. This is a mini-ITX motherboard that includes wireless networking built in. We're going to add to that a couple of parts out of this old Dell. This Dell had an i5-6500 Intel processor. We're going to steal the 8 gigabytes of DDR4 2133 megahertz RAM out of it, and we're stealing the PCIe Gen 3 512 gigabyte NVMe drive from it. So the drives and the memory are coming from here to add to our motherboard, our CPU, and our cooler. Now all of those parts are going to go in here. This is an InWin BQ656 mini-ITX PC case that comes with a power supply included. So that's going to be our build. The spares out of here, the new parts from here. It's going to be just a practical office machine with nothing we don't need. Let's take a look more closely at this build. Now you may be wondering why I chose the InWin BQ656 mini-ITX PC case for this build. Well, first of all, it's very, very affordable. I think I've paid like 155 Canadian. I'll put a note down below if that's wrong. But that's for the case and for the 80 plus gold certified 200 watt power supply that's inside it. So it's a case and power supply together, and for that price, it's really good value. The other reason I chose it is because it's tiny. My wife does not have much office space, and this is a very small case, and it's going to fit perfectly on her desk. Now, with inexpensive and tiny, sometimes there's some compromises, and one of the compromises on this case is if you look at the back, there is no slot, I/O slot for GPU. You cannot put a graphics card in this case. It is meant for office computers that are using integrated graphics only. Now that having been said, there is room inside the case for some extras. For instance, I'm going to be using an NVMe drive that of course will be mounted right to the motherboard, so I don't have to worry about it, but there is room in here for up to two 2.5-inch SATA drives. Or you can have one 2.5-inch SATA drive and a slim optical drive. So if you've still got DVDs that are using, you can put a DVD player, a slim DVD player, and a writer here in this case. So it's got some options, but it's definitely made for office use where you're using integrated graphics only. The other thing I like about it is this removable foot. This foot has mounts at the bottom of the case, so you can use it as a foot for the computer if you're just going to have the computer sitting on your desk. But the other mount is on the side of the case, and what that allows you to do, these screw holes are for VESA mounting, so you can mount this to the back of a monitor. You simply slide this on and twist it, and then that will lock the PC to the back of your monitor. When you want the PC off again, you just give it a twist and it comes apart. So it's a foot that doubles as a VESA mount. It's small enough you could put it behind a good sized monitor. I think that's great functionality. Okay, so we're ready to go ahead with our build. I've done some preliminary work. I've prepared my CPU cooler with the right brackets that I need for an AM4 motherboard. Opened up my CPU, got the motherboard prepared, so we're ready to assemble. Now, like all micro ITX builds, this one's going to be pretty cramped, and that's a really small case. So I'm going to totally build out my motherboard separately, and then I'm going to install it in the case at the very end. Let's start off by putting our Ryzen 5 3400G CPU into our slot. Goes in just like that. There's a pea-sized blob. There we go. Flip this over. We're going to marry them like this. And our nuts. And get to putting in our sticks of RAM. Okay, so now we've got our motherboard basically assembled. We've got our NVMe drive in with the heatsink, we've got 2 sticks of RAM, we've got our cooler, it's plugged in, everything's pretty much ready to go. Now we're going to pop this into our brand new case. So there you have it. There's my ultra budget office PC build in this InWin BQ656 mini-ITX case. Altogether, it went pretty well. I think it's a good looking case. It's certainly a small and compact case. I love that. So what are things I liked about doing a build in this case? Well, first of all, I think it's well put together and I really like the included power supply unit. Now, the cable management is a little bit of an issue in this thing. However, at the end of the day, if you're careful, you can get reasonable looking wiring. It doesn't have to look like a rat's nest. So it's not bad in that regard. Now, that having been said, as I mentioned, on the bottom side of this PC, there is room for 2 2.5-inch drives or a single 2.5-inch drive and a thin optical drive. If you're cabling all that up, it's going to get awfully tight at the front of this case for getting those SATA cables in. It can totally be done, I'm sure, but you're going to really struggle with it. It's going to be a tight fit and it's going to be tough to get all that connected. It was tough just as it is. I think this case is ideal when you're using a M.2 drive mounted to the motherboard and then maybe a PCIe adapter to add another M.2 or even 2 M.2 drives. In this case, for me, just to keep the wiring simple and to make it less of a headache putting together, I'd kind of stay away from those SATA drives that need all the cables run. At the end of the day, this looks super clean. On the cooling side, there is no case fan in here, and that's because it's not really necessary. There's no graphics card, so you don't have a graphics card to cool. And you note the CPU fan is right up against this mesh. I've only got a couple of millimeters room. So my CPU fan is going to be drawing in outside air all the time, dispersing it through the case. It's going to come out through the top vents, the vents in the back, and it's going to disperse that air. So there's really no need for a case-mounted fan in here, and hopefully that's going to keep the sound down. Now, having said all that, this is not a case you're going to want for gaming because it doesn't accept a graphics card of any kind. There's no space for it. It's not something where you want to use it for a computer. You're going to be upgrading, adding a whole lot of peripherals to. You really, when you set this up, you have to know what you're using your computer for. In this case, it's an office computer. I don't need a lot of peripherals. It's going to be fine just like this. The single drive, the integrated graphics, that's going to work just fine. It's going to be really efficient with that 200 watt 80 plus gold power supply. So there's a whole lot of things to like about this case, but it definitely is for a specific market. It's for those basic office computers without a whole lot of high power parts in them. And for that, I think it's absolutely ideal. And it's going to look pretty nice sitting on a desk. So what's the final verdict on this PC build? If you remember from the first video, I spent 445 Canadian, about $303 if I bought the same parts in the States. I used a mix of new and old parts to put this office PC together for my wife. Did it end up being worthwhile? Well, if you remember, she had that old Dell i5-6500. The whole point of this was to get something that was Windows 11 compatible so she could upgrade to a current operating system. The point wasn't really to have a huge improvement in performance. However, I did run Cinebench R23 on both PCs. And it's interesting to note that the old Dell, the multi-core score was 3,226. This computer scored 4,781. That's an improvement of 48%. The single core score for the Dell was 944. For this computer, 1065, which is a 13% improvement. Now this machine does all that while staying cool. If you remember, I mentioned there's no case fans in here. It's just the CPU fan cooling everything. When I ran Cinebench on the multi-core test, the CPU socket temperature only reached 58 degrees Celsius, and the graphics processor temperature only reached 73 Celsius. So those are very, very good numbers. And it did all that while remaining pretty quiet. Now, I did some testing with a decibel meter. It was 8 inches away from the open side of the case where the fan is. At idle, I registered 31 dBA of noise, which is barely discernible. And at full throttle with the fans running on full, it was 47 dBA. So definitely you can hear that when it's running flat out, but it's still a lot quieter than my gaming PC. Now, because this is an office computer, those fans aren't going to be running flat out very often. For office work, I've got the fan curve set on the AMD silent mode, which keeps it very, very quiet indeed. So what I've got is I've got a sprightly, quick little computer that'll be awesome for office tasks. It was cheap, it was quiet, and it performs pretty well. It's certainly a noticeable improvement over what my wife had. Now, I think what we've proven here is that in 2026, despite the incredibly high cost of SSDs and the incredibly high cost of memory, you can still build a pretty good PC, especially if you're into those typical, household and office type tasks. This is going to be a great computer for what it's going to be used for. And the AM4 platform, because it's been around so long, it really is the ideal platform for doing something like this. I chose to use new parts plus some parts I had left over. Certainly you could do this a little bit cheaper yet if you did all used parts. There's tons of AM4 parts out there on eBay and other sites that you can pick up, and you could get that cost down even further. Now, if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I'll also put the link to the previous video down below. That's the video where we talked about the strategy behind this computer and why I picked the parts that I did. You might find that useful too. In the meantime, if you want to see more budget builds like this, we'll be doing some more down the road. Leave your comments as to what you thought of this particular one, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time right here on Tech Talk.